Hi there, this is Ajit Navlaka, your host at the Business of Coaching podcast. And today I have someone really, really special. We've invited Susie Moore to come on the podcast and share with you what she's learned about transitioning her career from being a high-performing executive in New York to a life coach and then to a amazing author of two wonderful books that we're also going to talk about today. We'll also cover what is the secret to getting success on PR, even in these times, how to really get yourself published and seen in front of amazing individuals so you can yourself go out in the world and start writing things, or even if you're not a writer, know how to really maneuver things and move things for you to be able to get success on different channels and different magazines and online platforms. We'll also see how you can really increase your own self-worth and be able to go out in the world and create a great impact that you've always wanted to do. All right, so without further ado, let's roll it. Hi, Susie. How are you doing?
Hi, Ajay. I'm so excited to be with you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you on this conversation. And we were just talking about it, that we were supposed to actually meet and record this in our studios, but then the whole COVID situation happened, and now we're doing this virtually. But I'm excited that we still get to talk to you and learn from you. So thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, it's wonderful. We're in such a connected world, right? No excuses. So here we are.
Absolutely. So tell us, before we get started, before we get everything going, my introduction to you was from a book that you wrote previously called What If It Does Work Out?
Yes.
If I'm saying the title right. And it was a fantastic book. I loved the book. I was like, this is so smart, everything that you talk about in that book. You have a new book coming out, which we'll talk about in just a couple of minutes. But before that, tell us a little bit about your backstory. Tell about how you got started in this world. I know you have had the experience of life coach, and now you help people start businesses and side hustles, and now you're working in the world of helping people through social media as well, and how to manage it and so forth. So we'll get on all of that, but tell us a little bit about your backstory. How did you even get started?
Yes. Well, my background is in like the corporate world. I had a career in tech and advertising technology for over a decade, and I really liked it. I feel like you get so many great skills from a corporate job. And, you know, if you don't like your job and you're keen to ditch it, often we can just kind of like disregard everything that we've learned. And we think, oh, I didn't really, that wasn't the career for me. But I really enjoyed my career and I was really nicely paid. But around the time I turned 30, which was 6 years ago, I know it wasn't my life's work. I didn't want, she sold video ads or programmatic video software on my tombstone one day. It wasn't good. It wasn't my contribution. And I knew that I wanted to work for myself. I kind of got to understand the life coaching industry because in New York, it's very popular. And I met with a couple of coaches and I just pretty much overnight decided to do it, Ajit. Like I didn't overthink it. I think this is a real strength. And I just decided to kind of like start my business, announce that I was a coach publicly. And I was side hustling for around 18 months before I then left my job, which paid me $500,000 a year. So you can imagine that was quite a risky move, or felt like a risky move at the time, and kind of went all in on myself. And it was 5 or 6 years in December. So I've been doing it full time. So yeah, and here I am. And yes, I help people with side hustles. I help people get publicity. And the coaching that I do is really around helping people move forward by just understanding what's holding them back.
Oh, that's interesting. What were some of the big things that you learned as you were transitioning from your previous career to the new career of life coaching, the 18-month transitionary period? The reason why I asked that question is we are recording this in this time of COVID-19, right? A lot of people are at home. A lot of people are probably, or that's at least my assumption of it, and from the conversations I'm having with some of my friends, is people are really imploring about the ideas around their careers and their lives, and they have the space or they have the circumstances where they are kind of forced to think about things that otherwise they were not thinking about. And career is one big one of them, right? Because suddenly you realize that either your company kind of like just bolted on you and said, you know what, I'm not going to pay you for the next 4 or 5 weeks and see you later, alligator. Or you're working from home and you're realizing how much more easier it feels without the stress of your boss leaning on you all the time, or the way you are effective or not effective, and so forth, right? So we are all learning new things about ourselves.
Yes.
And I think it'll be interesting to hear your journey through that process and some of your big learnings through that process.
Yes. Well, I actually just wrote a piece on Business Insider about this, about, why now is a really good time for a side hustle. And despite the obvious reasons, we want to be financially secure and we want to, increase our options, we certainly have the time. And I mean, I think the main reason that we should start side hustles, of course, financially to be responsible, to think about our future, is because we have something within us. We have something more to give. Like no job, I don't think there's a single job that fulfills, the use of all of our skills and all of our potential, no matter how great a job is. And when you think about, a human, how many dimensions we have, how much it is that we can, really contribute, there's so much. And there's so much that we can, contribute creatively too. So in that 18-month period, I became alive. Like, I didn't need the money. The side hustle money was, fun, but I didn't need the money. That wasn't my motivation at the time. And I just became so confident. The way that I interacted with people was different. I felt like something that was dormant inside of me for such a long time was kind of, getting life. And I knew that I started to just feel in control. I mean, when you think about it, we do have so much control in our lives. Even right now in quarantine, there's nothing that we can control out there, but, in our small spaces, the corner of the world that we touch, in our minds, we have complete and utter control. So I just set my time aside differently when I was side hustling. I did less social stuff, less social media, less TV, was seeing clients, was pitching myself to the media to grow my business for free. And it just started working because, first of all, I think that nothing takes the place of belief, right? Self-belief has to be number one, more than talent, credentials, qualifications, for anything else. I just believed in myself. And I knew that I was kind of working towards something bigger. And having, I think, a vision that pulls you forward is very helpful, especially when you don't get the results you want, or if it feels like business is not as fast as you'd like it to be. It's so important to always just be nurturing your vision. And that is kind of what kind of pulled me forward, kind of led me through. And I think also just setting some pretty lofty goals. I mean, why not? I mean, it's up to you. And I think you typically land where you aim, right? So I wanted to aim really high. And so I think I just kind of took the steps and remembered that, it wasn't all supposed to be easy, and it's okay to have disappointments too.
I totally hear you. And I so hear you in the idea of lofty goals. That's just how I have also operated in my life. And the reason why I resonate with that is because, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it, because I think it's very important for people to listen to this, because often goals can feel daunting or not right or too much or too little. And at least my understanding of it over the years has developed it to be that every goal is imaginary. So you can imagine as far or as not far as you want, all of it is right. The only thing that varies probably is the timeline, is that you put yourself to not cause anxiety and heartache to yourself. But that's just how I viewed goal over the period of time now. How is that understanding around goals for you? Because I think that's an important conversation to have.
Yes. The way that I look at it, and this is still the way I look at it, is that whatever is available to somebody else is also available to me. And this is why I think success is generous, and it's why it's important to be a role model, because we need real life role models to show us what we can do, to show us what's possible, to show us really how life can turn out, how business can turn out. And when I looked at some life coaches, some who had big followings, some who had, like online courses, and they did talks and so forth, I was like, instead of feeling, kind of envious, and those feelings can come, I think I would just realize that, wow, there's such an appetite for this stuff. I can join this conversation. I have something to add. What this man or woman is doing is kind of within my realm of possibility too. And I think I would just kind of look at people who had, books, who did kind of different speaking events, who had people who just, really listened to them and benefited from their work. And I thought, yep, that's going to be me. Like, oh, that already is me. I just have to allow it in. And I think that it's okay to do that. It's okay to want a lot. Sometimes I think we kind of avoid wanting because we think we're going to be let down, or we think that, some people are special and we're not. I just don't believe that's true. I think really our only job is to recognize our own worthiness, to see opportunities around us, to not expect it all to be, this kind of perfect unfolding, but to know that we're strong and capable enough to figure it out as we go and just keep making the next right move. And also having some trust and faith in the process too, because if there's a dream that you have or a desire that you have, it's because there's something there for you. There's something for you to give. And I don't think it makes too much sense to question that and to kind of indulge in too much self-doubt, because there is nothing generous about that.
So true. So true. Is there a process that you have that you use to set yourself or know that this is the goal I want to go for? Is just intuitive to you, or how does that work for you?
Well, I write down goals each year. So financial goals, business goals, kind of specific goals that I want to hit, just so they're really clear and I know if I'm on track. Because sometimes I notice, Ajit, too, when it comes to even coaching high achieving people, we don't realize when we do well. We're just so busy focused on the next thing. So it's so great to go back to our goals and be like, I just want to have an email list of 50,000 people, or, or I just want to have, so however many YouTube subscribers, or, whatever revenue month. And then you look back and you're like, wow, I've done a good job. And you know what? It's great to reward yourself and say, you know what? I'm doing a great job. So I think goals are helpful, to have a vision, but also to kind of look back and do a review. And then, I think so much of it is intuitive, kind of understanding what it is that you want and knowing that you're allowed to be, do, and have whatever you want. It's not just for a select few people, the same way nature isn't just for a select few people. I'm in Miami, I have this gorgeous water view here, and it's not just for the rich people who get to see the water, or just the verified people on Instagram. It's for everybody. And so I feel, I want to take advantage of this short lifetime and kind of give it everything and risk it and be wrong sometimes and embarrass myself, sure, get rejected, like whatever it is. My tolerance for that is high, because I know that confidence isn't getting it right and being perfect. It's just being willing to experience negative emotion. That's all it is. And if you can experience negative emotion like embarrassment, rejection, humiliation, getting uninvited, whatever it is, then what can't you do? Like what isn't available, right?
It's true. How did you build that tolerance? Is there something that you asked yourself or did something or some aha moment that led you to really believe that you could have that tolerance or have that tolerance?
Yeah, I think it comes through just experiencing, right? Like, sadly, there's no way around this. Like, only action cures fear, only experiencing like the negative things and realizing you're still alive. The worst thing that happens is a feeling, which is temporary, the same way a positive feeling is temporary. It's all just like passing through the body. So I think just through getting rejected, through having a lot of failures, through making mistakes, sometimes losing money, whatever it is, which happens to all business owners. It's not like, oh, there are a select few who just always get it right. We all have these setbacks, all of us. Some of us, we just don't like to focus on it, and I don't focus on mine, but I'm honest that they've happened and they will continue to happen. So I think just the doing of it. And then also, Ajay, I really consume so much self-help. Like, I invest so much in my own thinking, in my mindset. It's the only thing that matters, right? Like, everything else is, information, which you can, take or leave. And if it was all about information and knowledge, then we'd all have six packs, right? We'd all be doing all the things, right? It's so much just about our own inspiration and staying focused. So I also invest a lot of time too in reading and consuming stuff that really keeps me uplifted and going.
That's amazing. There was a point that you said, hey, when I started my first 18 months of being a side hustle life coach, if I could say that, you said there was a point where you said, I started doing some PR to free promotion for myself.
Yes.
More about that journey. How did you make that decision? How did you go about doing it? How did you go about thinking it even?
Yes. Oh, I love this, because I feel like it's been kind of maybe one of the biggest differentiating factors for me, because I think most people don't know that it's available and they don't do it. And the way that it started was when I was bored in my cubicle, and we're all bored in our cubicles at some point if we have corporate jobs, I would read websites like Mind, Body, Green. And I'd noticed that, that a lot of the content that they created was stuff that, I could probably create. If somebody wrote about productivity, or if they wrote about happiness or overcoming conflict, I was like, I kind of have something to say on this stuff too. And again, this is really not overthinking anything. One day when my friend was late to meet me at a bar, I just wrote a piece. It was called No is the New Yes, How to Scale Back Your Busy Life. And the reason I wrote that was because I was side hustling. So working a full-time job and traveling a lot and side hustling at the evenings and weekends. And I just had some tips that really helped me kind of stay on track. And I submitted, 500 or 600 words. It was live in a week. and it was shared nearly 4,000 times. That was my very first piece. And I was like, this is how I'm going to grow my business. Like, it's free. It's fun. You have so much authority and credibility. Even the word author comes from the origin word authority. And I was like, wow, I'm going to start here. And then I went to the Huffington Post, then to Marie Claire, then to Business Insider, Fast Company. I just went for it, Ajit. Like, why not? And it just kind of kept building. It's still my biggest method of growth. I'm still creating articles all the time because they work. And they attract people to you. They create a lot of loyalty. And I mean, I love it. So why not do it? And then I created a product around it because a lot of people want to know how you do it. Like, how does it happen? And it's not this mystical thing. It's available to everybody with an idea.
Absolutely. And not to take away from the product that you created, but is there a method to this madness that is easily explainable to go, hey, these are the key higher, like just a key bullet point to think about if you're thinking about this?
Yes, of course. First of all, you have to believe that your story, your tip, your knowledge, whatever it is, the content that you have that can, connect, comfort, entertain, inform, whatever it is worthy. You have to start there. And this, of course, will come back to just general worthiness of self. Like, this is probably, it's so funny. I mean, of course, I teach very tactical steps and have a framework, but you have to start there thinking, what I have to share deserves to be heard, deserves to be read, deserves to be watched by other people. So you have to start there. And then you want to think, who are my people who are essentially going to buy my stuff? Because I consider every piece of media content, even though it's, written advice, essentially a huge ad for me. So I'll write a piece around, I don't know, say side hustles right now. I just mentioned a piece that was in Business Insider just a few days ago around starting a side hustle during this pandemic. And then of course, like, links to my side hustle workshop. So in my pitch, or in my article, in my pitch, I'm not talking about my workshop, but I'm naturally like leading people to the next step. So you have to understand that you're worthy, know what it is that you want to sell, essentially, if you're going to be using your media as a sales tool. Make sure then that your content and audience and the flow from the first word to the last word to the link just totally makes sense. So if you're, a coach on relationships, for example, right now, aren't divorce rates spiking because of this pandemic? We can't all live with each other that easily.
Oh, that's true. Actually, in New York, it's reported that the divorce lawyers are getting more calls than ever.
Yeah. So as a relationship coach, I'd say, how to communicate with your spouse when you're together 24/7, or, ways to not get angry, or ways to talk through, homeschooling, whatever it is. I'd give my advice and then link to, sharing a session, or, whatever. If you have a product or a book, you link to it. So understand your worthiness, know what it is you want to sell, then essentially just figure out like where your people are, like what they're reading, what they're consuming, and then place your message inside of that very busy marketplace, and then make the next action step very easy for a reader to take.
Would you say the way you're explaining it, it almost feels like you're also starting with the end in mind? Yes. Is that would it be accurate? Yeah.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, I have this workshop that I want people to know about. It's more contextual to right now this is happening. I have the perfect piece that I can write. What about the people who don't count themselves as writers? Is there for them?
Oh my gosh, I don't consider myself a writer, Ajit. I mean, it's funny, like what we become as we start doing things. It's interesting. One thing that I always share, and it bears repeating, I think, because sometimes we have these reasons, right, or these excuses that hold us back. And it's very easy to say, I'm not qualified as a life coach, or I'm not certified in X or Y, or I don't have a college degree or a master's degree, or I'm not a journalist. I'm none of those things, Ajit. I left school at 18. That's all I have. I have no other formal qualifications. And if I can, have the media like success that I've had, some of the best media in the world, like the Today Show, Oprah Magazine, Forbes, like whatever it may be, then what isn't possible for most people? I think it's really, again, this is kind of where success in any area becomes generous if you're also willing to share how and, what it is that you don't need in a lot of cases. And so I repeat this all the time, because often people will say, yeah, I'd love to, but, and I love to kind of question the but always, because how there's this, in traditional psychology, there's this traditional model of cause and effect. Like, I'd love to, say, be a life coach, but I don't have my training. I don't have, a formal skill, like a formal piece of paper about it. Well, then the way that I would look at that is I would flip the cause and effect. I'd say, well, becoming a life coach is going to require some courage. It's going to require some work from you, and it might put you on the line for some criticism or something negative. So you're going to blame your lack of a qualification. And there's nothing wrong with having qualifications, yes or no. It's very personal, but often the thing that we want is the thing that scares us. So we'll find a really good reason. And even a really good excuse is still an excuse. So I love to flip it and then say, okay, well, if the cause and effect were true, then any person in the world who hasn't had some certification has never become a life coach. Like that would then have to be true for your belief to be true. And I think it's so great to dissect it. Like, it's so much fun. Think about what you can't dissect. Sometimes women will say to me, I'd love to start a business, but my husband doesn't support it. And I'd say, yeah, again, starting a business can be a little scary. So you're going to blame your husband. So flipping this cause and effect model, it's so much fun. And you have to constantly look for evidence that supports the opposite of your belief, like your cause or belief or excuse. And you'll always find it. Like, you will always find people who started businesses with no money, without their husband's approval, with whatever limitation they perceive. And you'll see success stories everywhere when you look for them.
So you're saying that it could be that you would go, oh, I'm not a writer, is because you're afraid of the criticism or it not working out, or rejection, per se.
Yes, I'm not a writer either, but you know what we kind of do, we become, right? We kind of, there's this old saying, you have to do the verb before you become the noun. If you want to coach, you want to write. And if someone says, I'm not a writer, I'll say, great, neither am I. Let's go. What we're going to create, because that excuse just simply doesn't hold. Sorry. Lovingly sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for saying that, because I think it's important for people to hear this. If, let's say, somebody was to take that leap of, all right, I see my cause and effect, I want to now start putting out my first article.
Yes.
I see what Susie is trying to get me to do, which is to know what my end goal is. I want to write an article. Now I have this thing of going, how do I structure this? So do you have any few simple bullets to go, okay, these are 3 or 4 things to kind of think about as you go about writing your first one?
Yes, I would do a bit of research. So whatever it is that you want to create, I would just do a little search, see because there'll always be content around it. No one can really create anything original. So lose that pressure immediately to be perfect, to be original, whatever it is. So I'd say, okay, who else is already writing about my topic? Say, for example, you're a sleep coach, I don't know, and you want to talk about business travel and sleep, or a newborn and sleep. I'd say, who else is already creating content around that? What's popular? What are people, what are they already really consuming? What do they like? What's kind of going viral, and where? Like, is it in Parents Magazine? Is it in Family Circle? Is it in Inc? Is it in Entrepreneur? Like, just, doing a little bit of research. I always say that just a few minutes of homework saves hours of hustle, because you kind of already know what's trending. And of course, you'll put your own unique spin on it. You'll create your own piece of unique content, but you kind of know what's trending, what's interesting to an audience, and what types of places accept that type of content. So, Google is like the world's most amazing assistant, 24/7 on demand, right? And it doesn't have to be anything complex. You can just kind of create, do a few searches around what it is that you'd like to create, see what's hot, think, okay, great, what's my angle on this? What's my unique kind of contribution to this conversation? And then you can already see kind of what kind of places might like to hear from you. And a really great tool that I love to use is called BuzzSumo, BuzzSumo, to also type in your area. So you can just type in sleep, coach, nutrition, whatever your area is, and they'll show you the most popular articles with those in the title. So there's so much available. Like, it's all there. And then you have to just connect a very simple, concise pitch to the right editor at the right time.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for those tips, and thank you for the tool as well. It's outrageously helpful for anybody who wants to get started. Now let's switch gears a little bit. We've talked a lot about PR, and the reason why I also wanted to go in there is because, again, same logic. Some of us are home, even if we have all the stresses of being home, like kids and everything running around, we can find a few hours for ourselves, our businesses, our side hustles or main hustles, irrespective. And because that is the case, it is a good time for us to evaluate options like, hey, listen, if you don't have a huge investment up front that you can make in starting a coaching business or your consulting business or so forth, you could always just say, hey, what if I just created really valuable content to relevant parties and put it out as a PR medium, and even something that is contextual to what's happening right now. Right?
Absolutely. May I just just kind of share on that a bit more? Because some people think, oh, I don't know if now's the right time. I don't know. And now is the right time because media consumption is higher than ever. We're all stuck at home, scrolling, reading, just, whatever content's out there, like it has more eyeballs on it than ever. Plus, we need advice. I mean, I've seen some really great pieces out there, including from some people in my group around sobriety right now, like what that looks like in quarantine. Certainly relationship advice, a lot of financial advice. Like so much finance, like what do you touch? My friend Fanish Tarabi, her slogan right now is don't touch your face or your retirement plan. Like she's a financial expert, And so, I mean, we need what it is that maybe you know how to create like really great meal plans for the week. Or there are a lot of people who are used to kind of going to jobs each day, who have that, they ride their bike, they have their salad, they come home and now they're in flux. They're like, I don't know what to eat or do. So we need people to tell us what to eat and what to do, So this is a time to really step up and give advice because people are listening and we need it.
And this is so, it's such a brief moment. You covered so many different industries of coaching categories. You touched finances, you touched health, you touched relationship, you kind of touched life, you touched
everything.
Like everything pretty much in that 1 minute chunk right there. And thank you for doing that because people can see how it's relatable, everything that you do. The tougher thing probably is to keep ourselves focused and actually do it and not get sucked into whatever is happening around us and maintain the productivity and maintain the drive and stay curious and stay present and keep doing the work that needs to be done. So do you have any tips for that? How are you managing yourself in this time?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I think first of all, if you need a break, take it. Some people I think are really overworked and exhausted. And this kind of collective forced regroup is a blessing in a way because, we would never just be with our family. Even on vacation, we kind of go, right? So it's kind of like this forced reset. So I think if you need a break, take it. First of all, we don't have to be like productivity central, all day, every day. But the way that I'm thinking about it is, there's going to be a day where I'm going to go out. I'm going to go to the club for 4 days in a row, Arjun. I'm staying out.
I have canceled my Europe trip because we didn't know if we're going to be able to make it. And that's our annual month and a half, 2 months that we do in Europe. And we canceled it last week or last week because we're definitely not taking that risk. But that means, yes, absolutely partying that needs to happen.
I'm doing all the things. Yeah. I'm going out and licking everybody. It's gonna happen, right? But I think that day's gonna come. And so what can I kind of do at home? I'm creating 6 months worth of YouTube content. I'm kind of, again, because I'm a media gal, I'm doing a lot of pitches around my book. Interestingly, even just live TV shows, you can do them at home if you have good Wi-Fi and lighting. I mean, editors need content, producers need content. So I'm kind of pitching my stories as usual, but making them relevant for this time. And, you just think, what's most useful right now? What do I have that can be useful at the moment? Always just kind of thinking that. And so I'm going forward with that. And also, reading, doing some things, keeping it kind of loose. I mean, not taking it all too seriously, thinking you have to have this perfect routine, but overall, working in the mornings, taking breaks, enjoying the afternoons, and having some nice happy hours with my husband at night. What about you? Can I ask? I'd love to hear. I love to hear what people are doing.
Well, I have an 18-month-old at home, so our days look a little bit different than that. Last night was interesting because he usually sleeps through the whole night, but last night he just decided that at 1:30 in the night he's going to wake up and stay up till 3:30 in the morning. So it was a little tough last night, but otherwise usually our days kind of split between, we decide who's doing what at what time between me and my wife. So we kind of give each other productive hours because otherwise we have the kid, we have to take care of him and he's too small to take care of himself. And we don't want to give him the best babysitter in town, which is TV and iPads all the time. So we're trying to maintain a more healthier way because he can't go out. We can't go out. We can walk around. That's for a kid, they want to run around and do things. So it's a little bit difficult for that, for all of that. So we're trying to manage our work schedules like that. So for example, today is most of the day I have podcasts and recording. So my wife's really taking care of Ari, who's our kid. When she has stuff like this, I take care of him. most of the time. So we kind of tango. We try to either give each other a whole productive day or at least a couple of hours. So we'll give like, okay, 2 hours you, 2 hours you, we kind of tango. Other than that, we just very cooking a lot at home, like just because both of us love cooking. So that's like we've tested so many different recipes that we hadn't cooked in a while, or haven't never cooked. And we looked it up and we thought, all right, we're going to try and make this just to not always be stuck with the screen too. Because again, both of us have the tendency when we're not with him to like work. So we're like, let's not do that. So we make lunch and dinner together. We spend some time together every evening once he's gone to bed, post 8 p.m. We're like, no screens time, which has always been the protocol. So that's not new per se. But that's what we're doing. Like, but like, for example, like for health, I just started doing 1,000 burpees in the next 30 days. So about 35, 40 burpees a day.
Wow.
It's like, all right, that's what I'm going to do for every day for the next 30 days, just so that even if because you can't go to the gym or anything like that. We have weights and everything at home, so we're okay. But it's just, if you don't have a goal in mind, like you said, kind of like you're going, yeah, whatever, I'll do it. And then you don't do it for like 3 days straight. So it's like, okay, now let's put ourselves to a goal that puts me on task. So we're doing different things, setting agendas for different areas of life to make sure that we don't get comfortable, because it's very easy to get comfortable, especially for people like us who are entrepreneurs, who have full-time entrepreneurial companies and careers, and I don't know how you're feeling it right now, but for us, the business is not necessarily impacted because we're always a virtual company, digital, so it's not necessarily impacting it negatively. It might be a little bit positive because more people, like we said, are questioning if what they have been doing in their careers was good, if their businesses are set up the right way. And we are an education company, so we're perfectly positioned for people to take advantage of. So we're not necessarily seeing that. So there's no anxiety around that per se. And none of our clients are seeing that. So there's no anxiety around that per se. So
that's wonderful.
Personal clients, so pretty much everybody's actually reporting more so growth, except maybe one or two who is kind of like in a unsure place, but that's also because of other circumstances that are in their life. But so we're doing pretty well in that context right now.
Sounds like it. Yeah, you're making me feel bad, Arthur.
It's much
1,000 burpees? Yeah.
Yeah, you got to put yourself to a task. If it's too easy, you're not going to do it, right?
I like it.
I mean, it's not impossible. Like 35 burpees, 40 burpees a day is not that hard. You can do like 10 burpees every 2 hours and you'll be fine. But just to give myself something to kind of chase, because otherwise sanity, that's the problem. Right?
Yes, sanity is the goal.
Like, don't lose it because you're not seeing another human being for God knows how many.
I know, and I'm an extrovert too. Yes.
Well, I'm an introvert, so I was great for the first 2 weeks, and the third week it started to hit me. I've not seen any of my friends physically. I've only met my wife and my kid. Like it's getting to you, like our date time was like us going to Whole Foods together. Like, that's bad right now. Grocery shopping together.
I know, it's so exciting.
Like, ooh.
It's funny though, isn't it, how we adjust so quickly? Human beings are so resilient. Like,
it's amazing.
I feel so used to it already. Like, it's bizarre, right? Like, this would have been unthinkable a few weeks ago, what we're all doing now. Completely unthinkable. We'd have been like, yeah, right. Like, that's a really interesting joke. I mean, it's amazing how we adapt so fast.
That's true. All right. So tell me a little bit towards, I know there's a new book that just came out as we have this conversation. When we'll post it would have just been maybe a week and a half or something since it has come out. So tell us a little bit more about how did you get the idea, what the book is all about?
Yes, and my book is called Stop Checking Your Likes, which is it's not a social media book, but the reason I called it Stop Checking Your Likes is because, essentially, any social media platform has become this very public popularity, like contest almost, where we can get live kind of real-time feedback all the time on how well we're doing, or if we allow ourselves to interpret it that way. Are we living the right way? Are we quarantining the right way? Are we saying the right thing, eating the right thing, whatever it may be? And there's really nothing new here. Comparison and criticism, all the kind of things I cover in my book, they're just parts of being human. But I just think probably now there's also, a lot of open cruelty, and there's a lot of, fear that we have about, being seen and being judged. And so I wanted to write a book around essentially the importance of self-approval and self-reliance, and knowing that your worthiness can never, a million likes can't make you any more or less worthy. And a million likes or a billion likes won't make your life any more temporary or less temporary. So I think I just wanted to highlight some just ancient truths in like a fun way, and telling some really kind of bizarre stories, like some bizarre stories about when I was growing up, about, you know, even just being divorced young, sharing just a lot around just kind of personal stories that I haven't shared before, because I want people to know, like, if really crazy things have happened to you, like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. Like, what's the interpretation and where's your power now? So I think I condensed, I mean, I've written an article about this, Arjit. It was like the 5 lessons I've learned from reading like 500 self-help books. And I feel like I've consumed all the books, and I've distilled the best lessons for me and for the people that I've coached. And I've kind of put them in this book with some stories and some takes of my own that I just think help you live your life. And it was kind of the book I've always wanted to write. And it's kind of a bit scary when you put something brand new out there that's kind of revealing a lot about you. But I think that's also part of the point of life, right? Like, safety isn't the goal, and feeling comfortable isn't the goal. So yeah, I put like everything, like all, like the most juicy stuff. Like, I had to like hit a deadline. There's always more you'd want to say, but I think the most powerful information in this book that I've acquired so far.
That is beautiful, and I love that this book focuses on step 1. Of really getting out there, which is self-acceptance, self-love,
yes,
knowing yourself, getting comfortable with yourself, being able to see how really things need to be seen, which is something that we covered as the first thing on the conversation, among the first few things that we covered in the conversation. And if you want to get ahead and see if PR is for you and all of that fun stuff is for you, the first thing is to accept yourself and have yourself be comfortable with yourself.
I mean, I tell this like this kind of like a bit of a joke in the book, but it's true. I mean, the way that I highlight it is, you know, just say that you went hiking, right? You're in LA, people hike there. Just say you went hiking with a group of friends on a new track, and you got lost, right? You just got lost somewhere, and the group that you were with, they couldn't find you, and it was getting dark. Would they question whether or not you were worth rescuing? Like, would they say, wait, is Ajit verified on Instagram? Like, wait. Like, did he like fulfill his taxes like on time? Like, these things that we think like determine our worthiness in the spiritual world or our emotional world, they're not true in the physical, literal world. So why would they be true in any other way? You know, so if you're worth rescuing on a mountain or in some, you know, rock somewhere, you are worthy of everything good. Like, and your worthiness as a human being isn't deletable. It's not fluid. It is just fixed and permanent. And I find that every single problem, and I've not found a single exception to this, Ajit, there is not a single problem in this world that doesn't come down to a lack of worthiness. Like everything, every conflict that we have, every problem that we see, every reason we hold back, it will just, if you just keep going down, keep getting to the bottom of it, it's like, I don't feel good enough. I don't feel worthy of this. And so that's why I had to just write a book about it.
Can I ask you a question? So how would you suggest, and I know it's more in the book and people should totally check out the book to get the full lowdown on this, but if I was to ask you if everything boils down to worthiness, is there something that you have found why we as human beings always feel that way? Why do we get to a place of not feeling worthy? And is there there's no quick way to get out of it, I know that, but at the same point in time, is there something that you've realized about it that if people would realize, help them at least start the journey and then get the book and then continue the journey?
Yes, because I mean, it is a big question. It's like, why do we like grapple with our worthiness? Why is there this feeling of not being enough present in almost everyone's life at least some of the time, or at least in one life area? I feel like the journey of like acceptance and feeling self-approved is a lifelong one, right? But there are certainly hacks and like knowledge bombs that exist that can really open your eyes. And I feel that one thing that's really helped me is whenever I'm in like a self-doubt place, right? Or in a place of like self-reproach or, you know, kind of spinning anything negative about myself, I realize it's really indulgent. And sometimes I think it's really helpful, like even if I'm coaching somebody who's like, no, you know, this terrible thing happened, I'll be like, you know what, we need to take the focus off you because your ego is really active right now. And it feels like the opposite, right? The ego is tricky. It'll be like, well, no, I'm just saying I'm not going to do the things. I'm just going to stay small. And it's like, that's the danger, right? Like it's like, oh no, see, I'm not taking up any space. Like, look at me. It's okay that I'm here because I'm just small. It's like, well, that's not why you're here. Like, think about the miracle that is your life, right? Think about how your parents met, right? How their parents met, like how all this had to happen for you to survive, however long you've survived to be here now. This is miraculous, right? There is nothing to question about that. That's like questioning anything in the physical world. And we are the highest form of intelligence on this world, like to be a human. So when we're like, no, I can't do it, or I can't, I'm not ready yet, I'm holding back. It's like, well, this is actually a very kind of self-indulgent, unhealthy, ungiving, ungenerous place to be. And I remember that whenever I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to, maybe I don't want to take up too much space right now, or I don't want that next thing feels scary. It's like, well, why are we all here? Like, why are we all here for a very, very temporary amount of time? During this temporary time, the gift is to fulfill as much as you can, right? Not to the point of exhaustion, but like this is why success is progress, and progress is really the definition of happiness. So I feel one thing that always helps me is whenever I'm in a place, like a dissatisfied, unhappy place, I know that my ego is at its most active, and that's when I kind of need to check it.
Thank you so much. That's just golden gems. Anything that you think would help people right now in the situation? Our audience is mostly coaches, life coaches, business coaches, health coaches,
yes,
spiritual coaches, and so forth. So people who are across.
I love coaches. Yes. Yeah.
My life changed because of coaching, which is why I do what I do today. So for us right now, of course, one of the great tips two fantastic tips that definitely I'm taking away today is think about how you can add value through PR. And of course, the whole piece around self-worth that you talked about is what I'm here to do. What would you want to remind people right now in context of the situation or just generally in life?
Yes. It's interesting. A couple of days ago, I started to feel a bit down, I think, just because, being an extrovert, being home, feeling like, I also had a very different vision for this time, Ajit. Like book launch time, I thought I'd be in New York doing press. So I've kind of, had to just shift and realize, I don't just have a window. It's, any kind of limits I'm experiencing, I'm just, I'm putting on myself. So kind of, busting the beliefs that are kind of making me feel limited. The one thing that I think always soothes anybody, and this is the gorgeous thing, which is a gorgeous truth in human nature, is if you're feeling helpless, if you're feeling frustrated, to do something for somebody else. And a friend of mine asked me if I'd look at a sales page, and I love doing this and helping, but it kind of wasn't a priority because I had book stuff, and I kind of just dropped everything and I looked at it and I called her and I broke down exactly how I would update the sales page, and it just felt really nice because it wasn't about me and my book and the things that I can't do. And so I think whenever we take the attention off the self, focus on anybody else, and luckily there's a whole world of people out there, then I think we kind of reconnect, we come back to our best self, back into alignment of our the generous place within us. And I think there's really no mood shifter like it. I would dare anybody to tell me a time they did something really generous for somebody else and didn't feel the full benefit themselves. It's just a wonderful truth. And I don't think we do it enough because we forget that benefit too.
That's so true. That's so true. Thank you so much for taking the time, Susie, and dropping such wonderful insights and knowledge and tools that people can utilize right away while they're in the situation or post the situation. It is absolutely fantastic. It was fantastic speaking with you. Everybody that's watching, we'll drop the link of the book below. Absolutely go check it out. Nothing better than investing in yourself when you're anyways kind of lockdown. And even if you're not in lockdown, even this is post that, it is nothing better than anyways doing in anything else than to grow yourself. So I'll highly invite you to go ahead and check out the book and get a copy for yourself. Thank you so much, Susie.
Thank you so much, Ajit. Mwah.